I wish I had my water here. I looked down really quick looking for my water. Don't have it. What a tragedy. Welcome back, everyone, to the channel on this beautiful morning that it is today. We are listening to some Oregon. We've listened a long time ago to their album Out of the Woods, and we're going to listen to this first track off of their album Crossing, released 1984. That is going to be Queen of Sydney, that we're going to be listening to here. We're listening to this particular track because it was recommended by R. Gray. So R, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we have a little prior experience with Oregon, but let's go ahead and get back on that particular trail. Listen to this track, Queen of Sydney. We'll talk about it after. Here we go. Very mysterious. It's like creeping back there in the woods. Feels like it's slowly starting to warm up a little bit. Some tabla. It's kind of a cool sound. This is a piece of music that implies more than it actually shows. There's all the everything coming together, just clashing. That is such a cool sound, though. I don't know what he's doing. Is this someone playing like a cello slowly or something? This is a very ambient track. You just relax listening to this during most of it. I love the bass being in here. The way the bass comes in and brings the piano with it, now it's adding a little more melody to everything, to the pot. How light it feels now. Back to this. Kind of an odd little melody. So it was almost like more just a moment that we had that lighter section. It's like his fingers are dancing across something. He's kind of... It's a little swing. Almost sounded like it was building to something really quick. I'm just curious. I just want to see how it leads to the next track. I'm just curious. I see. I have observations to make. This is a cool little piece of very sparse, almost ambient kind of jazz. I see here on the Wikipedia page that this is under the ECM label. Completely makes sense because a lot of ECM's music that they have under their label is like, you know, jazz adjacent and there's probably a better word, but like that kind of free jazz kind of style that this fits definitely in. I think it's really interesting on the bookends of this piece, how it's almost like an eerie kind of atmosphere, especially with that melody, the da, 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 or however that melody goes. It kind of gives it a little bit of tension. And then you hear all those creaks and you know, creeping of sounds in the back, which I'm assuming someone was doing something on like a guitar or a stringed instrument, especially that that little wire tightening kind of sound. And there's a lot of kind of skittering and scattering in the darkness when it comes to a lot of this track. A lot of the instruments are doing that. But then in that middle section, When the bass enters, it brings in a luxurious sound of the piano. And for a little bit, those two play in something just a little bit more melodic and light. And then, of course, that's kind of fleeting as it moves back into that kind of, I say that creepy or kind of dissonant kind of sound. Even though it's not really dissonant, there's still melody and harmony. It's just a little bit more sparse and abstract. Paul McCandless is going to be playing oboe on this track. And then Glenn Moore is the bassist and also playing flute in here. And like I said, when he comes in with the bass, it just immediately adds a warmth to the track, but also a rhythm. Like, this is a track that is fleshed out in the sense that literally most of the track feels like it doesn't rhythmically have a spine. There's nothing hard and bony for the track to kind of be the flesh on top of. It's just flesh. All of the sounds that are happening feel like things that would be playing with a rhythm or with the drums and the bass playing constantly and consistently. But no, that's not what's happening here. So I like that it's not stuck to a rigid kind of structure. And the sounds that they're all playing and the actual atmosphere of it all, I think because to me, this sounds like something you would just kind of put on and maybe not exactly relax, but this would be like good reading kind of music to me. Like it has good tension, good character to it without being too distracting. So I think like this would be a really good like reading kind of song to listen to or track to listen to. But a lot of it also reminded me a little bit of the more ambient side of someone like David Sylvian, just who I have to compare it, especially like his later work where it is much more free form and not as rigid to a structure. This sounds like some of the ambience that he would come up with later. And even during like the main 80s part of his career and early 90s, it sounds like some of the backing music behind which he would sing on front. And then, of course, you're going to have Ralph Towner on the piano on this one. And like I said, I really enjoy the way that he plays. It just brings a beautiful kind of classy warmth to everything. Colin Walcott's on the tabla. I love when the sound of the tabla came in. You know I'm here for that. And then, actually, yeah, it's just those four. So really, really excellent track. I enjoyed this piece of music. Like I said, I like how with the next track that it led into, it was giving it a little bit more something rhythmically based, you know, that like we listened to. I'm just skipping ahead in the next track. Like, see? Something a little bit more, probably more like structurally sound, at least in the way that we can expect it, while the opening track is like a little bit of sparse ambience in this jazz. Anyways, I thought this was a cool listen. Thank you, Argray. I appreciate the sponsorship and the suggestion on this one. Of course, the rest of you, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you as always for being here. Come back tomorrow, and I'll see you all then. Bye, guys.